Hello, Rudy Salazar with CalBit.com, and this is our third video of 8 videos in this series on the fundamentals of the bit inspection program. So, step number 3 is going to really get a little complicated. So the video is going to be a little longer, and we're going to go over the details of step number 3 here in a minute. But before we do that, all these steps can be found in my book here that I've written, little handy dandy soft cover little booklet. And all these steps are also in our ebook. The ebook's been available for a number of years on our website. A lot of the forms we're going to be talking about come out of this book, come out of the ebook, so it's a good resource to have. You can make up this stuff yourself. We're going to go over it all, and so you can see how we operate that. So, as always, disclaimer. Everything in this video and all the videos we're doing in this series, including that book and the ebook and the website, does not constitute legal advice. I am not with the CHP. I am not with the Department of Transportation. I'm just a guy with a website helping people understand the basics of the bit inspection program. Vehicle Code Book. This is last year's edition. 2013 is available. It's your responsibility to know the Vehicle Code Book as it pertains to your operation as a motor carrier and your commercial fleet. And here's where you find the bit inspection explained. It's not the only place it's explained, though. It's kind of all over the place in different places, including the Department of Transportation, DOT Code of Regulations. It's your responsibility to know that stuff. So we just go over the basics here, so let's be friends. All right. Okay, what we're going to cover in step number 3 is new hiring of your drivers. I call it new hiring. Now, as you can see in these videos, I have made these labels out of, these are just made out of manila envelopes. I cut them up, folded them over 3 times, printed some labels on them, put some glue on them, and when your inspector comes, they'd be really impressed with this setup. And wait till we get done with step number 8. We're going to have it all laid out, and you're going to really understand the basics of the bit inspection program. And when your inspector comes in, they will see that you do, and they'll appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of all these other ones right now. Put these over here. Let's see here. Because we're going to talk about just new driver hiring. So normally what happens when I go into companies and we get to this step, I say, okay, let me see your driver hiring files. And they go off to HR, or HR brings them in, and I usually get some thick folders. And in here are just a bunch of information that pertains to the bit, but a lot of times a lot of things that don't pertain to the bit. So what I say to the customer, I say, you know what, let's now just get new file folders, and let's make up new folders that are specific to the bit inspection program, and that's what we're going to do here. Now, you can do this in a 3-ring binder. You could do this in a different kind of file box, or I don't know, but we're just going to use regular manila envelopes to kind of show you what goes in the new driver hiring section. So we have these with us, but we're going to take some stuff out that we're going to put in our bit-specific driver hiring folders. So I usually get some new folders. I say, okay, let's start with our first driver here. And we write on here, driver number 1, or the driver's name, of course. And I say, okay, let's have his application, his or her application. So they say, okay, great. We get the application. Now, a driver-specific application is nice. Not mandatory, but it's encouraged. So this application here, I have a 4-page application as part of the ebook and part of the regular book that you can copy off or use your own. Hopefully you got a driver-specific application. It's kind of good to have instead of an application that's kind of for the office personnel and the warehouse personnel, the same application doesn't really work for drivers. So try to have a driver-specific application. So that's the first thing that goes in this file is the driver-specific application. Second form that goes in this file is a previous employer record review. Now this is extremely important. A lot of people a lot of companies can get behind on this, so I encourage you not to. If you use this form, again, out of the ebook and out of my book here, this is a nice form. And what makes this nice is obviously it's laid out all ready for you to fax it or mail it or email it to the previous employer for them to fill out and sign it. But this little box here is your good faith effort. And here you put on what did you mail it, did you fax it, did you email it, and just put notes. Maybe your first attempt on this date, didn't hear nothing back, second attempt received and filed. So this little box here makes makes it nice so you can administer this properly. So previous employer record review is the second form that goes in your driver hiring folder. So we got the application, previous employer record review, and then we have the driver proficiency test. Here's a form again, ebook, regular book. You could print this form out. Driver proficiency test, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. A lot of companies out there overcomplicate this. A lot of companies out there overcomplicate a lot of this bid inspection system. It's complicated enough, so let's keep it simple. Here's a simple form: driver name, driver license number, and just some area here to list the type of equipment they're going to be operating. Tractor trailer with lift gate. Have them demonstrate that they can operate the lift gate. Have them demonstrate they can back up and operate the truck properly. And the person who's they're demonstrating it to just signs it and dates it, and that's it. Very simple. Now, obviously, for those of you that have trucks that have like a lot of hydraulics on them, or they're specialties, or end dumps and stuff, obviously the driver needs to demonstrate the type of equipment that you're employing them to operate. And the person that's doing the test doesn't necessarily have to be a commercial driver. It could be just a supervisor or somebody that's of authority of the company, but the driver needs to demonstrate that they can operate this equipment safely. And it happens a lot out there. I've seen it. I've had my share of experiences with drivers that really don't know how to operate the equipment they're operating, but they're tasked to do that every day. And when you go and look for the driver proficiency test, it's not there, or somebody just didn't do it properly. So, even though this form's simple, it makes sure your drivers totally understand how to operate their vehicle, but keep the logging of information simple. They demonstrated this type of truck, and they're good to go. So there it is, driver proficiency form. That's your third form that goes in the file. And then the next form is the driver alcohol and drug testing enrollment review. Simple form again. You entered them into the pool, POOL, pool program for drug testing, and basic information. Driver name, license number, the date you enrolled them into the program, and the vendor that you're using, and any notes. Now, this note area can really help you, especially if a driver is late into the program or something happened where it just fell through the cracks, or maybe the vendor that you signed them up with to do the drug testing didn't put them in the system properly. Well, you have a place here where you can explain what happened, make your notes, put it in the file. So that's the driver alcohol drug testing enrollment review. And then the last form that goes into this new hiring file system is the primary DMV record review. This is the first DMV report you get from the DMV for your driver. Now, the driver may come in with the DMV report, or you might have requested it from the DMV and they mailed it to you. Whatever you do, never take a copy. Always an original, all right? And what you do with that first DMV report, not all the other DMV reports you're going to get over time as the driver's working for you. This is the first one you get. You staple this form to that DMV report, and you answer these questions. This is so it's like foolproof. It's like you're a monkey. Pull my string. Let me answer these questions. Yes or no. You fill it out. The date of the report, driver's name, license number. Does the name match the report? Does the driver's license number match the license number on the report? Is the expiration date of the license current? Is the class of the license correct for the type of vehicles and combinations he or she will be operating? Points against the license, okay, not in danger of losing. Check for suspension, actions taken, or other activities against drivers. So you answer yes, no, whatever the answers are. put any kind of notes that you have here to explain stuff. Sign the bottom. Again, staple it to the report. Put it in here. And that's the new driver hiring folder. You do this for every one of your drivers, and then you let's say here's a whole bunch of new folders, and we did it for all the drivers in this operation. And some of that information we got out of their existing file folders, but we take these file folders and we just give them back to HR. We say, okay, we're done. You can take these now, and so we send that back to the HR department because they have obviously important information they need in there. But here is our bit-specific new driver hiring folders. Now notice, they're done. You could seal them. Just put them away. Every 2 years when you have the bit inspection program, bring them out, put this label over the top, you're done. Make it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. These will not grow and contract. They will stay the size they are, and that's the beauty of that one. And as we get going, we're going to go over all the other areas. And one thing you will be hearing from me is don't commingle any paperwork and files. So as you saw, we got a HR file on a driver. A lot of it was commingled to what the bit inspector needs. So we separated it out, and this is our bit inspection new hiring file folder. So that's step number 3. A little bit of work. We're going to go to step number 4. The work's going to continue, and so hang in there, and I'll see you over on the next video. Thank you.